If you're a first-time home buyer trying to break into Nassau County real estate, you've probably heard, just be patient, wait for the prices to come down. Well, I'm here to tell you that might be the worst advice that you can get. The 2026 market data is painting a pretty clear picture, and it's not the one that a lot of you are hoping for. So today I'm going to share the hard truth about why the dream of owning a home in Nassau is slipping away for so many buyers. So my name is Nigel. And as a local real estate expert on Long Island, I'm not here to sell you fantasy. I'm here to give you the facts because the numbers don't lie. And for a lot of people hoping to plant roots in this community, the barrier to entry has become a brick wall. Okay, the market isn't crashing, it's climbing, and it's leaving a lot of hopeful buyers behind. Today we're going to break down the real data, the prices, the inventory, the cost of living, and we're going to show you why 2026 is one of the toughest years for anyone who's trying to buy a home in Nassau County. So I know it sounds a little bit of doom and gloom, but it's not, all as bad as you think it is. So let's just start with the big, scary number, the median sales price. So as of mid-2026, the median home sales price in Nassau County has been hovering between 700 to 800K. We even been seeing some reports with median prices pushing towards 900K, depending on the month and the types of homes. So home values in the county have been climbing significantly year over year. And this isn't a bubble getting ready to pop. It's a market showing sustained price strength. I keep telling people this market is just solid, but the sale price is only chapter one. The real gut punch for first-time home buyers is the income needed to even play in this park. All right, so the median income needed is around $146,000. And while that sounds like a lot, it's often not enough. Based on today's prices and interest rates, a household might need to earn closer to $200,000 a year to comfortably afford a home in Nassau County, which means many people can feel priced out from the start. You're competing with math here, which makes it really tough. So what about mortgage rates? Everyone was hoping for a big drop, but rates have been lingering in the mid to upper 6% range for a good part of 2026. Forecasters keep predicting it might ease, but let's be real, the days of 3% mortgages are a distant memory. That can save you hundreds, if not hundreds of thousands of, if not thousands of dollars on your mortgage payment. And this creates a brutal cycle. If you can't afford to buy, you're forced to rent. But the rental market gives you no room to breathe. And while it varies, finding a decent rental in the county for under $3,000 can be a big challenge. It can be a big challenge, and that cost makes saving for a down payment feel like trying to fill, a bucket with a hole in it. You're pouring a huge chunk of your income into rent while the price of the home you want to buy keeps climbing. You're also trying to live a life and do other things too. So it's a problem. And why is Nassau County so incredible? Why is it so expensive? It's not one single thing, but it's the perfect storm of low inventory, high demand, okay, and a serious lack for new construction. It's a big problem. Let's talk about inventory. The word is on everyone's lips for a reason. It's the main engine. And right now, Nassau County is hovering around a 3-month supply of homes for sale. In a balanced market where neither side has the upper hand is close to 4 to 6 months. And so we're in a deep seller's market, and it's been this way for a long time. A huge part of this is the lock-in effect. So many current homeowners are sitting on mortgages with rock bottom interest rates from a few years ago. So they're like, why would I sell my home? Why would I give up a 3% rate only to buy another home at a much higher price with a 6.5% mortgage? And I don't blame them. I don't blame them at all. And I have this conversation, every day. And so this is kind of where we're at. So the inventory is remaining very low. It's meaning fewer choices for buyers out there. Second, demand is just not going to quit. Nassau County's appeal is undeniable. You've got great school districts, you've got great communities, and it's right next door to the city. So this isn't a market that's built on trends. It's fueled by generations of families who want to stay here. They want a steady stream of people. There's people who are moving from the city, and even with the high prices, we saw the pending sales jump up in the spring, and that's a clear sign that buyers are still willing to pounce on anything that's available. And this leads to the third and maybe the toughest problem. We're not building enough new houses. Nassau County is a mature, built-out suburb. There are very few large tracts of land left to develop. On top of that, getting new construction approved is very slow. It's very complicated, and we simply are not building enough homes to keep up with demand. It's a classic case of supply and demand. And supply is losing badly, losing very badly. It's a big problem. This is not Florida or North Carolina where you got a bunch of new construction. So where does that leave you as the first-time home buyer? Honestly, it leaves you in an incredibly tough spot. The old advice to wait on the sidelines for the market to cool off is a losing strategy in Nassau County. And the reason why is because waiting doesn't work when prices keep going up. Even in a moderate appreciation of 4% per year, that means the property could cost you an extra $30,000 the next year. So for most people, the answer is no, don't wait. You're literally losing ground by standing still. The classic starter home, that 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom Cape that was once the ticket to the middle class on Long Island is now routinely selling for over $650K, in many towns pushing past $700K and even more. And these are often the houses that need work. Today's buyers are already stretched thin by their monthly payment. They have no cash or desire for major renovations. This created a turnkey premium where updated move-in ready homes spark fierce bidding wars. We're seeing a significant number of homes, around 45% in some recent reports, selling for over the asking price. So you're forced to compete against other very desperate buyers, all cash offers, and current homeowners armed with a ton of equity from their last sale. And you put in an offer of $50,000 over asking, waive inspections, and you still lose to somebody who's coming stronger. And it's very exhausting. I'm going through this every single day with people. It's tough. And the solutions that people often hear are just save more, get a gift, look for a fixer-upper. And this advice ignores the reality of the market. The dream of home ownership, the idea that you work hard and save and you can own a piece of your community is being seriously tested by this market in Nassau County, Suffolk County. And, after all that doom and gloom, is there any hope? The answer, it's tough, but it's not impossible. If you're willing to change your strategy and redefine your dream a little bit, the old way of buying a house is over. Okay, first you have to get hyper-local. So forget the county-wide median price. Nassau is a bunch of different markets. So you got towns like Hempstead or Freeport, may have prices in the 600,000s. While Garden City, you're looking at $1.3 million. So your strategy has to be identifying specific neighborhoods at the very edge of your budget and starting to focus your search there like a laser. Second, you have to be ready for battle. This means getting all of your financial ducks in a row before you even look at a single house. I'm talking about a full underwritten mortgage, pre-approval, not just a pre-qualification. You got to have your down payment and closing costs liquid, ready to go. Homes are not going in days. They're going in days. They're not going in weeks. You need to make a strong, clean offer the second you find a home that works. Okay. Third, think about alternatives. So this might mean looking at a condo, a co-op to get your foot in the door. It could mean exploring government assistance programs for first-time buyers. Don't sleep on those. It could mean making the tough call to expand your search. This might involve looking further east in Suffolk County, where prices, while they're still a little bit high, they're generally lower than in Nassau. So it's a trade-off between location and affordability, that more and more buyers are forced to consider. And finally, you need an expert guide. Okay, like myself, completely joking, but serious. Trying to navigate this market on your own is a recipe for frustration. You need a real estate agent who is more than just an agent. You need a strategist, right? You need someone who understands the towns, who has relationships, and can help you craft an offer that stands out when there are 20 others on the table. So, the hard truth is that the Nassau County real estate market in 2026 is not a friendly place for the average first-time buyer. The mix of high prices, stubborn mortgage rates, and next to no inventory has made the dream of home ownership harder than ever. Waiting for a crash doesn't seem to be coming is likely the biggest mistake that you can make. The market fundamentals, strong demand, and a chronic housing shortage, they're just too powerful. But that doesn't mean that you give up. Right? It doesn't mean that you give up. It means that you have to get smarter, more strategic and more realistic to the path of owning a home. Okay, so if you're tired of spinning your wheels and you want an honest conversation about what it actually takes to buy a home in this market, I'm here to help. Click the link in the description down below. Check out the description. All of my information is down there below. We can go over your specific situation, your budget, and we can build a realistic game plan that's tailored to you. We'll talk about which neighborhoods might still hold opportunities, what you need to do to become a buyer who can compete. And I'm here to help you out through the process. So thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, hit that like button, subscribe for more no-nonsense insights into the Long Island real estate market. Stuff out there, but with the right strategy, with the right agent, you can still find your place in it. Thanks for watching.